You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Well, welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, November 26th show. I provide you the news on everything money, fresh information on market trends and conditions on our local economy. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast to talk with the amazing guests that I have in studio, or anything you'd like to chat with me about, feel free to call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. And right now in studio, Sondra Earley with Earley Insurance Solutions, and we're going to be talking about Medicare and how it really doesn't have to be that complicated. And Sondra's really good at kind of breaking things down for us and making it simple. Sondra, thank you so much for joining me back in studio.
Thank you, Tina. It's great to be here.
And a little bit about Sondra. Sondra has been an insurance professional for over 15 years with progressive experience in personal lines and commercial lines insurance, sales of security and investment products. Sondra has proven track record and reputation for cross-marketing sales production and new market development. She is highly skilled in providing training, coaching, and consultation. Sondra has proven success in program project manager and project team development, working with the best companies in the field. Sondra has developed stellar relationships with the underwriters in each insurance company that she works with, and she works tirelessly for her customers and is known for her relationship building skills. So I'm excited for my listeners to hear how to simplify Medicare and how it doesn't have to be that complicated. So Sondra, what is open enrollment for Medicare?
Open enrollment is for people who either, one, are renewing their insurance, taking a look at new insurance, or just coming into the marketplace, turning 65.
And what about eligibility? When are you eligible for Medicare?
You're eligible for original Medicare when you turn 65. Mm-hmm. Or if you have an unfortunate event such as qualifying disability. Or there may be some other special involvement medically that allows you to come into Medicare.
Okay. So, Sondra, what about some choices? Can you break down the different choices that you have for choosing Medicare?
Absolutely. So, when you're eligible for Medicare, having been in this country for 5 years, and 65, at least 65, or with a disability, you have options. You have original Medicare. You can be enrolled also in a supplement plan, also known as Medigap, or you can be involved in Plan C, which is now known as Medicare Advantage.
Okay.
So you have those opportunities. And the gamut would be, most of the plans now are HMO plans. The other options are PPOs. There are some other options that are out there, POS and PPFS plans, depending on where you live and how you want to access your providers.
So you mentioned Medicare Advantage.
Yes.
What is Medicare Advantage?
Medicare Advantage. Let's call it a Medicare Complete Plan, because as you know, original Medicare takes care of Plan A and B, which Plan A is for the hospital, Plan P is for the medical part of the plan. So if you have original Medicare, the government also wants you to have a prescription drug plan. That prescription drug plan, it can be separate or it could be standalone. Standalone, or it can be included into your Medicare Advantage plan. So Medicare Advantage plans come in two flavors. I'll call it MAPD, that's Med Advantage plan, with a prescription drug plan or without a prescription drug plan.
So you're choosing which plan makes most sense.
Which plan makes most sense for you.
And while we're on that note, Sondra, I mean, really what you're doing for your clients is you're working with them and breaking everything down to help them determine what the best plan is. So even though we're breaking it down to make it easy, talking with you're going to help them figure that out, correct?
Correct. So I teach from a standpoint of something easy to remember. I call it the ABC and Ds of Medicare. And so folks get very confused when they come out of, say, corporate plans or private plans,
yes,
and they're paying well, they really don't know what they're paying, but they're being subsidized. The plans could cost them $500, $600 a month into a plan that's less than that.
Yes.
And what does that mean? So I take them from A, B, C, and D. And A starts with, as I said, original Medicare. Some folks like that because it's affordable for them. It's kind of a pay-as-you-go system. And then they can add on the prescription drug plan. Some folks just want the all-in-one plan, which is, I call it the supermarket of plans. It's Plan C. That is a Medicare Complete. It is A, B, and Part D, the prescription drug plan, equals C. A little bit backwards in the equation, but that's what it is. And for those that don't want to really stumble around with different cards, they may choose a supplement plan, which is good for any state, any doctor who is contracted by Medicare.
Got it. Okay. Sondra, what is Medigap or Medicare supplement insurance?
So let me break that down a little bit. So I call it original Medicare on steroids. And the reason I call it that is because it's going to pay for almost everything that original Medicare doesn't cover except for the PDP, the prescription drug plan.
Okay.
So it's one card, kind of fits all. So that's what Medigap is. It covers the gaps.
Covers that gap. Makes
Exactly.
sense.
Okay.
So can you cancel your policy if you want to change your mind, you decide you don't like it?
Sure. And during the open enrollment period, you can cancel it up until December 7th. So let me just back up just a second and say open enrollment begins October the 15th and runs through the end of December 7th. The last date, I've filed some plans at 12 midnight on December the 7th.
Okay,
just
wow.
Beating. But December 7th. Okay, after that, let's say you have your plan that's going to be effective 1/1/2017. What happens next? You get in there and you decide you don't like the doctors, you don't like the model, you don't like any of it. What do? You can cancel beginning January 1st through February 14th. What happens then, you'll go back to original Medicare, Part A and B, and find a D.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's what you'll have. So if you had great impact or great position with your Medicare Part C or Plan C, that's no longer. You'll just have to go back to the original and wait for the next open enrollment period, which will begin October 15th through December 7th of the following year.
So in all of our careers having to do with money, there's always that sense of urgency, and there's always planning that you want to do to make sure that you fall within those timelines. So your services, Sondra, do you do initial consultation? Is there a fee associated to that?
There are no fees.
Okay. What about your services if they hire and work with you?
No fees.
How do you get paid?
Basically, you get paid by the insurance companies.
Got it.
And I work with the top 7, at least the top 7 in my book. And, what we do is start with a needs assessment. I'll talk to the folks. I'll ensure that they are Medicare eligible or in one way or another, and then we'll go down the list. And I like to have them sit back and think about what their gene pool looks like as well. So do they have longevity in their family?
Yeah.
Are there specific issues that they may have medically? And then we'll talk about the doctor that they love, that they can't get rid of. We'll talk about the hospitals. We'll talk about any other impacting medical things that they may have, even though I may not ask them specifically, what is it? They're reflecting, and now it's like, which place would you like to be?
Got it.
I don't like to talk about budget right up front, but that is an issue, and I know it's top of mind for most people, but let's do the needs assessment, find out what you really want, and then I will look at tailoring the plan for you.
Love it. Makes total sense. So if I have somebody listening, how can they connect with you, Sondra?
Please call me at 425-681-3253.
Perfect.
Or call the station, talk to Tina, and she'll shuttle it over to me.
Wonderful.
Or you can email me as well.
Perfect. And yeah, you can always go on themoneyhour.com and I can get you connected with Sondra. Sondra, really quickly here, I've got to wrap things up and take us to commercial. But when it comes to assets and what people have in their investments, how does that come into play when they're using Medicare?
When they're using Medicare, if they are low income or fixed income, they could get extra help from Social Security.
Okay.
There are ways to do that. And then working with some of the financial planners, they're also able to take a look at how to initialize their contribution and spread it out over the 12-month period. So they'll take a look at that as well. So,
okay.
I work with several financial planners to try to help folks take a look at what's right for them.
Yeah. And, I've met you a few years ago and have had you in studio on a regular basis because I just, I know you do a lot of speaking and a lot of education, which I'm really big on that. And that's really what the show's about. And I just really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for sharing your wealth of information with my listeners.
Thank you, Tina. I appreciate you.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, business coaching, business value. I've got Frank and Lisa Savali from the Cascade team right here at 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.